The 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly closed a few days ago in New York, in the United States. One of the most anticipated events was the last speech by U.S. President Barack Obama. And on the sidelines of the General Assembly, one issue that caught a lot of attention was the first participation at a debate of 14-year-old Nigerian and American Zuriel at the World Body in New York. This time, her focus at the UN was lending her voice to tackle the issue of climate change and its effect on the lowland nations of the Pacific Island. These countries are slowly evacuating their communities, including children whose education is disrupted as they leave their communities to higher ground. After her speech at the UN focusing on climate change, she left for her scheduled private meetings with two world leaders, which is the Prime Minister of Samoa and that of Tuvalu, to hear firsthand the challenges they face being at the receiving end of the effect of global warming with rising sea level. Last December, Zuriel was invited by the UN climate change body in Paris to lend her voice in encouraging world leaders to act quickly in ratifying the agreement on reducing carbon emissions significantly.
We talk about the threats. We are talking about real disastrous events. And I refer here to cyclones, which impacted on our country. Very heavy rainfall, followed by long droughts. This week, hailstorm.
Really?
It's the first of its kind. And on top of that, forest fires, the displacement of our people from lower coastal areas to higher lands, and with the consequence of difficulty of getting water.
Sign on to the Paris Agreement and also other major greenhouse gases emitters like China, like many other major emitters. But we need more than that. We need more actions, more than simply words. So therefore we call and urge our like-minded countries like the US. Now they have ratified the agreement, and other nations to follow through so that the Paris Agreement, that is the global agreement against climate change, can enter into force, and that its provisions can be implemented in full so that we can reduce emissions of greenhouse gases to the level below 1.5 degrees Celsius, above or relative to the pre-industrial